Hello, I'm Terry Tucker, and this is the Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch. So today I'm up at the lodge here at Mountain Creek Ranch. We're getting ready to welcome a group in to the lodge who's going to stay with us for the weekend. And what we're talking about today is how to create a hospitable environment where people, the minute they walk in, they feel comfortable. And it's important in the rental business, in the vacation rental business or the dude ranch business, that is impeccably important. But it's also important as leaders in our cultures. Because we spend so much time at work, we should feel welcome there. And this Tales will teach us how. So we're here at the lodge at Mountain Creek Ranch. This is one of a few opportunities that we have for lodging. The lodge is just an absolutely gorgeous home on top of the mountain at Mountain Creek Ranch. And we spend a lot of energy and time trying to create this welcoming environment. We do the same at the loft, at South Camp, which is the hunting cabin lodge, and in all the little nooks and crannies here at the ranch. We try to create an environment. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about an environment. Why is that word such an important word for us? Because we can't do anything else as leaders. We can't do anything else as hosts. We are not physically going to come into this lodge with those people that rent this facility for a period of time and hang out with them. It's not like we've invited friends to come that we have deep relationships with and say, hey, we're going to hang out with you the whole time you're here. We are hosting spaces and inviting people, we hope become friends, inviting people to come in and stay here. So what we're going to talk about today is how to create hospitable environments. Environments where people feel welcome. Because feeling welcome and feeling like you belong is so incredibly critical in our world today. And so we create environments as hosts, we create environments as leaders. And we're going to try and marry those two things together and say, what am I learning from the hospitality business here at the ranch that I can also use in my life as a leader in my business? So hospitality, creating a hospitable environment, is the host or the leader creating an environment where people feel welcome, where they feel like they belong, where they feel like, man, this is the place that I need to be. And so there are some steps and some techniques that we just can't just clean the place, open the door and say, come on in. We need to stage and create moments of discovery so that the place feels like it was prepared just for me. And then how in the world do we do that in the professional work environment? I've got some steps for you. So what does it mean to feel welcome? Well, I can't make anybody feel anything. I can really only create an environment in which people choose that feeling, but I can influence that environment. And I have 6 steps that help us influence an environment where when people are coming into your place, they feel welcome. They make the choice of feeling welcome. So the first one is surprises. It's funny because I worked for years in the hospitality industry, and one of the clients that I worked with actually had a promise statement that they put out years and years ago that actually said no surprises. It was a key appeal marketing statement, said no surprises when you stay with us. They were really appealing to the frequent traveler, corporate business traveler, that liked to know what to expect. They liked to know that it was going to be a good bed. They liked to know that it was going to be clean. They liked to know that there was free breakfast or whatever it was. And no surprises to the weary traveler is probably a solid promise. But surprises to the recreational traveler, the vacationer, the experiential traveler, which the experiential traveler today is huge. We are seeing lots more people adding business and pleasure together in their travels. They love surprises. But it's not just surprises like, oh, here's a piece of fudge, or here's your turned down mint, or something like that. It's personalized surprises. So point number one is surprises that wow. And that's based on your research. Do you know your guests? Do you know your people? What would be meaningful to them? Are they bringing kids? Are they bringing dogs? What would be special to them? And what kind of surprise could we leave for them? Here at Mountain Creek Ranch and in the lodge, we have surprises all the time that have to do usually around food of some kind, special homemade food, food that you wouldn't get in any other place. But it's all based on a survey that we send out in advance that's asking preferences and likes and dislikes and what your expectations are. So having some customized, tailored surprises when you first walk in, wow, they're ready for us, they're prepared for us, they knew we were coming. I'm so excited to be here. So that's point one. Point two is in any environment, it's important to have intimate spaces. One of my absolute favorite things to do when I travel is to get that morning cup of coffee and find some amazing view and be private. Sit for a while and think and just talk with myself and kind of connect. I need that intimate space. Travelers, to feel welcome, need to find those little niches, those little nooks and crannies that they can escape into for moments of just relaxation or reflection. So intimate spaces, spaces that aren't where the whole clan is, some private spot. The third point that I think is important is exactly the opposite of that, which is gathering areas, like our big great room here or in the loft, the big area by the kitchen. Have you ever noticed how many people gather around the tables and around the kitchen? Well, at Mountain Creek Ranch, we spend a lot of energy and time creating very large table spaces and large gathering spaces. Why is that? Because travel and hospitality should be about relationships. Travel is great to go see something you've never seen before, but when you can see that with somebody that you care about and love, oh my goodness, it becomes a memory. So at Mountain Creek, what we really try to do is to create those moments where families can gather together, maybe play a board game around the table, and certainly sit at dinner together as one and not be spread out everywhere. So large gathering areas is important. That goes right into number 4, which is fun with food. Food has to be available and a part of any welcoming, hospitable environment. I recently stayed at the Ocala Hilton, one of the properties I work with our Meyer Jabara hotel family. And we walked into the room and they had a bottle of my favorite wine and they had a bottle of my husband's favorite scotch. And then they had homemade granola bars and house-made chips and things that were so unique. I dove right into the basket and began to discover all the awesome food that was in there. We ended up making time in our travel schedule to sit down that evening and enjoy the pieces of that basket together. And I remember that. So fun with food, not just have food available, not just cold cuts in the refrigerator, but maybe sending out a likes and dislikes, maybe offering to stock that refrigerator for your guests, having special things, special coffees, things like that that they enjoy. Food is a glue that helps people come together and bond. And so having food and fun food is critically important. That's number 4. Number 5 is details. People love to discover the 1,000 points of wow, the 1,000 points of discovery. Things like a unique lamp, or a special candle, or themed little pieces placed around the home. Little signs, books, coffee table books, things to explore and discover. The magic lies in those little details. It's like you prepared extra hard for my arrival and you didn't forget any little thing. And then lastly is what I call bounce back. So bounce back is a reason to return. It's a reason to want to come back and do it again. Any great host or hostess knows that we don't give everything away on that first visit. There's always a reason to come back, another season to celebrate, another event that's happening in a community, something that we do special certain times of the year, like here at Mountain Creek, the fall festival time, or upland bird hunting time. There's always a reason to come back. If you come in the spring for a horseback ride, come in the fall for upland bird hunting. So creating a welcoming environment in the hospitality business is critical. It's also critical in the leadership business because people stay working with organizations not because of the company, but because of how they feel when they work there and the people they work with. So let's learn, how do I take the concept of hospitality and bring it into my life as a leader? So we've talked a lot about how to create a hospitable, welcoming environment if I'm managing a lodge or a resort or a hotel. But how do I as a leader create a welcoming, hospitable environment for my employees on a daily basis, day in and day out? Well, let's look at the 6 that we've already learned and let's apply them in the workplace. So the first is really surprises. And remember, in hospitality, we said, know your guests, know who's coming in, surprise them with something when they first arrive. It looks as though you've prepared for them. Well, as a leader, creating surprises once in a while in the workplace really gets our employees off those hamster wheels, off those feelings of just doing the same thing every day. So unexpected little surprises, little gifts, little treats, little things that happen in the course of a day, or shaking up a meeting schedule, or shaking up a speech that you might give within a meeting, talking about something personal, just little surprises. It's different today than it was yesterday. That's what you're trying to achieve, is that you are an awake leader who has created something different today for the team than you did before. Number 2 is that, remember those intimate spaces? Well, in the workplace, allowing people to have private time. If your workplace is like a bullpen where you have lots of cubicles and lots of people seated side by side, it's really important that once in a while we create those little intimate spaces that allow people to go out on their own and have those private think time moments. The third is the opposite of what I just said. The third is about having team moments, team engagement as a requirement, getting to know the people next to you, working with them, understanding that you all have a common goal and that each of you do things independently to get there. Now, I want to talk about this for a moment because this is where respect comes from. So, what is at the heart of respect with team members? It's understanding that I don't have to like you, but I want you to help us get to the goal that we need to get to. So respect comes from the leader creating team goals and allowing the team to work towards those goals. And you do what you do best, and you do what you do best, and I respect you for that. So that's an important way to help somebody feel like they belong, is allowing them to shine or to showcase what they do best, and then respect somebody for what they do best. The fourth is that food fun. Food and work go together. So potlucks, celebration of ice cream day, having surprise pop-ups of things centered around food, inviting people to bring favorite recipes and share. Fun food is a way to make work feel more welcoming and hospitable. Number 5 is celebrate the seasons. Now, when we were talking about hospitality, we said details. Well, in work, it's hard to have attention to details in little things around the facilities. But celebrating the seasons and allowing that monotony of working 365 days of the year, allowing that monotony to break up a little bit, is to just be aware of what's happening in the world. So we celebrate the 4 seasons of the year. We celebrate holidays. We bring things in that make it homey in that workplace or welcoming in that workplace. I am a big advocate of allowing people to have photographs of their loved ones on their desks, things that personalize it and make it special for them. And I realize there's a lot of organizations that don't. I totally disagree with that. I really believe allowing people to personalize and brand their spaces and allow the monotony of each day to blend with what's happening in the world and to allow a little bit of that to come into the workplace. And then the 6th thing is event creation. Now remember, in hospitality we talked about it being bounce back. We said always give them a reason to come back. Well, that's no different at work. But the leader creates these upcoming events, upcoming goals, to give people something to vision cast to and aspire to want to achieve. So is it possible for a leader today in the workplace to create a welcoming and warm, hospitable environment at work? It sure is. But I encourage you to put on the hat of a hotelier, to put on the hat of a lodge owner and say, how would I make my guests feel welcome? Can I also make my associates feel welcome every day in the workplace? The answer to that question is yes, you can. If this is intriguing to you and being a part of Mountain Creek Ranch sounds like a fun event for you, visit us at mountaincreekranchmo.com and see all of the lodging opportunities we have here. Also, don't forget to go to YouTube, Tales MCR, Mountain Creek Ranch, and subscribe. We're here every week. We'll see you next time.